Hey everyone, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. So this video I'm going to cover and talk about, as you know, well some of you know, I have the latest and greatest electronics. I buy and sell the latest and greatest phones. I start out with phones. Well, I've kind of done it with everything, and I'm talking cell phones, gimbals. And gimbals are what you either have a camera or you either have a phone. It's just a stabilization piece of equipment that you use to stabilize your videos. And it actually holds your phone in a secure way so you're not trying to get all different angles to try to get different shots and make a cinematic video. So, action cameras. Now I've got into mics, buying the best mics. Laptops. And the way I do that, and I've started doing that with my appliances too, is I sell my old stuff and buy the new stuff. I'm not talking, I don't update my appliances every time. But I sell my old stuff because I take care of my stuff. I don't abuse my stuff. On my cell phones, I put a screen protector on it, and I put a case on them, and I protect them, and I keep the old box. You know, I keep all my old boxes, and sometimes I do throw away the boxes if I decide to keep them. And I'm talking even watches. You know, I have two different watches. I have a Huawei watch and I have an Apple Ultra 2 watch that I'm supporting right now. And they're both connected to my network. They have LTE. But I sell my old product that I bought. I don't just put it in the drawer and not, so that way I sell the product, I put the money in it in my little technology fund that I have, and then when the next phone is introduced, the different phone, I go and purchase it. And I try to get a good deal. Sometimes I try to buy my stuff online if they're new stuff. And I also trade. I traded for this phone right here, and this is a Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. Absolutely love this phone. This has been the best phone I've owned. And that's saying a lot because I've owned a lot of phones. I actually traded with a guy from Santa Barbara that my S25 Ultra, Samsung S25 Ultra, which I hated, absolutely hated. They've added too much AI. I had too many issues with it. And plus, T-Mobile, I'm with T-Mobile, and they have the best coverage in my area because I live in an area where there's not strong cell phone service. Sometimes AT&T doesn't even work it doesn't work in my house. You have to go outside to use your phone. And that's not my problem. I'm not with AT&T, but I've been with T-Mobile, and I switched to T-Mobile because of Verizon was not working as well at my house. So anyway, now T-Mobile lost, they're switching their network or, upgrading their network to 5G, and it worked really well at my house. And all of a sudden it just one day stopped working. So I went to I waited about a week because I thought, well, maybe they're just maintenance on their towers or something, or towers down. So I waited a week and it didn't get any better. So I ended up going into the store. There's a local store here in my town that I live in. And they said, oh, well, they were honest with me because I know the manager. And she said, yeah, they lost a tower. The city took the tower away from them and honored it to a different cell service. So they lost that tower. And that was one of the major 5G towers that they had in the area, and that's why. And so she said, well, I can tell you that you're going to probably have to switch your phone setting to 4G LTE. And I said, well, okay. I know how these phones are built around 5G, and they have been in the past, and I just knew that it wasn't going to operate right. And I was having problems with the phone anyway. I mean, I've been very disappointed in Samsung products for Samsung phones. Gotta be specific on that. It's the phones that I have a problem with. And so it's just that they haven't been innovative. They've just been adding AI to try to have different features. And Yeah, that'll work to a point, but when you don't improve your hardware, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't improve every year from year to year, because you're going to lose your, because, you know, Samsung has had the best cameras at times, but not anymore. Like I said, I have this Huawei 70 Pura 70 Ultra, and it's a 4G LTE phone only, and it works incredibly well on T-Mobile. And I have two of them, and I traded for this one. I drove to Santa Barbara because I traded my S25 Ultra from a guy, and it was a funny transaction because the guy didn't speak any English whatsoever. So he's translating on his iPhone, and we had been talking for a couple days, and so I drove up there. I drove up there to do an even trade. There was no money. This phone was like brand new. It was brand new, and he liked my S25 Ultra, and he was probably planning on selling it, or he said he'd never tried one, so he was going to try it. And yeah, and then I traded the one that I'm recording this video on. It's the green color. It's this Huawei 70 Pura Ultra, or whatever, Pura 70 Ultra, same phone. And I traded, because I had two S25 Ultras. I traded from this guy. This phone is not as in good shape. I found out that he was covering up some stuff, and it had a scratch on the thing, on the screen, which is no big deal to me. I took a screen protector off and saw the scratch, so it doesn't affect the operation, and it works fine. And I traded with the guy, but I love both the phones, and they're banned in the United States, but that doesn't mean you can't still use them. They work fine with certain, I don't have all the Google services, but I have the ones that I use, and it works fine with that. But my point being in this video is I buy and sell all my, stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes I use OfferUp. OfferUp, you kind of have to pay for a service to do it, and I just set a price on it that I feel is reasonable, and I look up what an open box would cost you at Best Buy, or go to Swappa and see what similar conditions that they're selling for. And I do my research that way, and you just got to find the right buyer. And it's not all about selling it at the top price, but I'm not desperate when I sell these things. I have the original box. It's in really good condition, so why not? And sometimes I make money doing it. Certain products, there's more value to them, and people are more apt to buy them rather than going and buying them at the store, because they save certain things and savings on it. And if you can do that, why not? So that's what I do. I sell my old stuff. I keep the old box, keep all the stuff in it, and that's how I buy and sell. I don't just buy products and then when I'm done with them, put them in a drawer and then buy the next one. I have to sell my old stuff in order to buy the new stuff, and that's just the way I do it. And it works really well, because sometimes I'll just sell a couple things, and it'll go in my little technology fund, and I'll hold on to it. And then when the latest and greatest comes out and I want it, and the latest and greatest nowadays, well, in the last 2 years, 3 years, it's not really the latest and greatest. And the problem is there's too many reviewers on YouTube that are promoting the product just to get clicks on their videos, and it's not usually the best. So I have certain reviewers that I go in and watch the review to see if I really want to upgrade to it. And like I said, this phone, I'm probably going to keep it until it dies, because it's got an awesome camera. It just works the way it should, and I have had zero problems. And I was thinking maybe these guys are getting rid of the phones because they're having problems with getting it hooked up. It's worked flawless on T-Mobile. And I'm getting the security updates from the manufacturer. In fact, I just got the June security update. So I'm going to go with it until, which according to T-Mobile, they said they're not going to ban service from me. I talked to the manager, and she said no. She said she said there's too many people that have Huawei phones that are with T-Mobile, and they're happy with them. And that's my story on, You just got to find the right buyer, have it valued at the right price, and not cave into all these people that are lowballing you. And there are a lot of people that think that you're desperate to sell your old product, and I'm not. You know, I had a guy this morning, I have a gimbal that's for sale, and he lives in LA. I have this thing sells brand new for $170. I have it listed for $130. And he sent me a message this morning asking if I would take $100, and then he wanted me to meet halfway, which was in what he thought was Downey, which is about 45 miles from where I live, maybe even a little bit further. So it's almost an hour away without traffic. And I just couldn't believe the request. You want me to discount my thing and then meet you halfway, which it's not even, depending on where he was in LA. I mean, if he was in the Valley, yeah, that could be halfway. But if he's truly in LA, and I just told him no. I'm like, no, I don't need to sell my product, and I don't need to drive it an hour. If you're really interested in the product, I wasn't going to sell it to him for $100 because I'll leave it on there for a while. Because this is the 2. There's not a lot of 2s on there, and if they are, they're priced at $170. So mine's a good value. I know it's a good value, and I'll end up selling it. I just need to find the right buyer that knows the value of the product that I'm selling and pays it. So, you know, I sold an Instant 360 Ace Pro, the first action camera. I sold it to a girl this last Friday for a good price, and she knew it was a good value, and she drove down to get it. She came down and got it, and she was very happy with it and everything else, and we're good to go. So that's the way I do things on my products that I buy and sell to get the latest and greatest products. Like the video, comment if you have a question on how I do it, and, you know, just comment. Let me know if that's what you do. And if you like my content, subscribe. Hope you have a good rest of the day, and thanks for watching.